Hello. So Eric Flogan is married. He must think this finally proves to everyone that he's not gay. And I have to admit it, I think even I'm convinced now, Eric. And, nobody was more skeptical than I was. I had my suspicions, and for good reasons. But for some of you that don't know Eric so well, haven't met him too many times, you might be a little confused by the fact that I was suspicious. He likes to portray himself as a very masculine guy. You know, he's strong and burly. He's a police officer. He likes talking about football and mixed martial arts. But once you get to know him and you spend a lot of time with Eric, you pick up on things that they don't really match this masculine facade or persona of his that he likes to put forth. And I've known Eric for a long time. As Dennis mentioned, I lived with him for several years. And so I picked up on a lot of things. So maybe I'll just pass on a few of these things I've noticed about Eric, and you'll understand where I'm coming from. First of all, Eric's a big movie fan. He and I used to go to the theater together quite often, and I think he goes with Carla now quite a bit. And like any movie buff, he has his favorite actors and his favorite directors. I would say that Eric's favorite actor is Brad Pitt. Don't laugh. That's not the joke. Brad Pitt's a good actor. You know, I have a lot of respect for Brad Pitt. I'm also a fan. But the way that Eric expressed his admiration for Brad Pitt was a little unsettling. It was a little off. Like, I remember when he came home from the movie Meet Joe Black, and I asked Eric, you know, how was the movie? And he said, if I could only make love to one man, it would be Brad Pitt. And I thought that was kind of strange. That's not really even a movie review. But, I mean, at the time, I sort of wrote it off as nothing. I mean, he doesn't literally want to make love to Brad Pitt. It's a metaphor. You know? He wants to make love to Brad Pitt's acting ability. You know, so I wrote that off as nothing. You know? But around the same time, Eric started having a lot of girlfriends. And by girlfriends, I don't mean girls that Eric dated. I mean like a, hey girlfriend, it's Thursday night, let's go clothes shopping. And so when Eric would hang out with these ladies, he tended to do what I would consider to be feminine activities. I mentioned clothes shopping. He went to Lord of the Dance, which in itself isn't feminine, but when I asked him how the show was, he said, that Michael Flatley has an incredible ass. He went to a Backstreet Boys concert. And the warning bells should have went off for everyone who knew that. But I mean, I don't want to paint a picture of Eric that's not very accurate, because it's not like he only enjoys feminine activities. You know, Eric enjoys a good male outing. Eric and I went to Edmonton, and actually our MC Dennis was on the same trip, and we went to see the Heritage Classic hockey games between the Edmonton Oilers and Montreal Canadiens. And I mean, we had a blast on that trip. We had a great time. We had a lot of fun watching it. I mean, like, I had a lot of fun watching the game. Eric took off for like the entire second period. And so the start of the third period rolls around, and Eric returns to his seat. And I say, Eric, where have you been? You missed the whole period. And he said, yeah, at the end of the first period, I had to go use the men's room, and then I just hung out there for the last hour. That's true. But I mean, taken by itself, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Okay, he's in the bathroom for an hour. But let's start putting the pieces of the puzzle together. He wants to make love to Brad Pitt. Michael Flatley has an incredible ass. He's a fan of the Backstreet Boys. And now he likes to hang out in men's rooms. But I think the capper to my suspicions, what really cemented them in my mind, was about 3 years after we lived together, and Eric suggested to me that we become common law partners. And I said, what? Because, you know, that's a very strange suggestion. And Eric tried to laugh it off, you know, for tax purposes. But I mean, even though he dressed it up as a joke, I was still rather jarred by this, because, I mean, how do you react to someone coming up to you with that sort of suggestion? But I mean, I know how I reacted. I told him he was being silly, I rolled over and I went back to sleep.